This is question number 10 on study guide for skill quiz number 3. The question says write the equation of the circle. So we know that a circle equation is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we need the center and we need the radius. So center is going to be pretty easy to find. That's the center of our circle. So it looks like it's at 1, 2. 1, 2. And then radius is going to be a little bit different. Unlike this question over here that gave us the radius and it says the radius is 4/9, this question doesn't give us the radius, but we can find the radius because the radius is going to be the distance between these 2 points. So I know that this one is 1, 2, and then this one would be, okay, let's count this. So it falls right in the middle of 2 and 3, which is going to be 2.5. So 2.5 over, we have to go 2.5 over, and then how many up? We have to go 4 up. So it doesn't matter if you label this x1, y1 or this x1, y1, but we're going to use that distance formula. So let's just label this one x1, y1, and then this one x2, y2. And then our distance formula looks a little bit like the formula for the circle, but it's a little bit different because we have the square root. So we're going to say x1 minus y1, or x1 minus x2, and then y1 minus y2. So let's go ahead and plug in our numbers. So my x1 value I said was 1 minus my x2 value, which is 2.5. Then I have my y1 value, which is 2, minus my y2 value, which is 4. Then if you can't do this in your head, you can go ahead and grab your calculator. So I'm going to punch in 1 minus 2.5, and I get negative 1.5. So we can carry this down and say this becomes negative 1.5 squared. And then 2 minus 4, if you don't know that, you can type it in, 2 minus 4, and we get negative 2 squared. So then we can square them. Negative 1.5 times negative 1.5. We know that this means negative 1.5 times itself. And if we're multiplying two negatives, negative 1.5 times negative 1.5, it's going to be positive. So on my calculator, I'm just going to type in 1.5, even though it says negative, because I know the answer will be positive. So 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25. And then negative 2 squared, so that's negative 2 times negative 2, would be positive 4. So my distance, I have that number on my calculator. I'm just going to add 4 to it, and we get square root of 6.25. So now that we have this as the radius, square root of 6.25, now we can write our equation for the circle. So down here, I know it's going to be x minus something squared plus y minus something squared equals something. So with that formula, our center values need to go right here. So the center of the circle was 1, 2. So I'm going to write 1 and 2. And then our radius, we said it's going to be this squared because we always have r squared. So this squared, if we did that, the square root and the square will cancel out and we'll just be left with 6.25. So our radius squared would be 6.25, and that's the equation of our circle.